On the Ice, brought to you by Pembina, source for sports. Down here at the RINK Training Center, we had a chance to look back at the previous weekend with the Winnipeg ICE as they took on the Saskatoon Blades on a back-to-back home swing here at Wayne Fleming Arena at University of Manitoba. The first game had equal chances for both squads, having the Ice with 11 and the Blades 10. However, it was only 15 shots shot against Jesse Makaj, and he came up with the win. A 4-1 victory for the Winnipeg ICE. Goal scorers, Carson Lambos had 2, Connor McLennan and Chase Hargy had the 4 marks for the Winnipeg ICE. Jesse Makaj stopping 14 of 15 shots in the Saturday night tilt. They started off with a 3-0 lead, and there was no scoring in the third. As for Sunday's game, just as hard, just as well fought against the same opponent, the Saskatoon Blades, and it was the same outcome for the Winnipeg ICE, jumping out to a 4-1 lead in the first period. Goal scorers Brad Mjhl with 2, Jake and Smallwood, and Coach James Patrick was happy to have Jackson Leopard back in the lineup. He scored his first goal. In the second, it became a 5-1 game as Owen Peterson notched in 1 goal there, and Nino Kinder, and the first goal of his WHL career from Anson McMaster in the third to finally make it a 7-2 win. Jesse Makaj once again getting the start, stopping 28 of 30 shots faced. 45 shots were fired towards the Saskatoon Blades, 22 of those in the first period, as quickly said and mentioned, because of the 4-1 lead in the first. 4 points out of a possible 4 points for the Winnipeg ICE. They've had a strong week of practice, and they'll be taking on those same Saskatoon Blades, this time in their home barn in Saskatchewan Friday night. Just 1 game on for the ICE this weekend, and they'll be back in town having 2 games sandwiched around Halloween on the 30th and the 1st of November versus Lethbridge. As for the Winnipeg Blues, their last tilt versus the Verdant Oil Capitals was a victory for the Winnipeg Blues with a score of 5-2. Cooper Hatfield, who was the first star of the game, saved 39 of a possible 41 shots. Michael Sarter, Duncan Janet in the first, scoring both goals. Ethan Hersent in the second. He had also 1 helper and was the second star of the game. And in the third, Josh Ernst and Mitchell Joss scoring in the third for the 5-2 victory. Joss, the third star of the game, was having 1 goal and 2 assists. The Blues finally have a little bit of time to practice and time to recoup and regenerate some energy after a busy beginning of the MJHL season for them, having played the most games out of any team. We'll have a chance to catch up with both the ICE and the Blues, as well as touch base with the RINK Hockey Academy and their Elite 15 squad in this upcoming episode of On the Ice, brought to you by Pembina, source for sports. We'll be right back.
At Super 8 Winnipeg West, we have your comfort in mind, with free Wi-Fi and free daily Superstart breakfast. We also have guest laundry facilities, a state-of-the-art fitness center, and a jetted hot tub. Sleep well in a spacious guest room equipped with plush new bedding, a 50-inch flat-screen HD TV, microwave, mini refrigerator, and Keurig coffee maker. Or book a suite with a kitchen, ideal for extended stays. Super 8 Winnipeg West, located just inside the perimeter on Portage Avenue.
On the Ice, brought to you by Pembina, source for sports, catching up with Coach James Patrick and this 3-game tilt with Saskatoon, treating it like a playoff series early in this season. We also had a chance to catch up with both Jesse Makaj and Carson Lambos. Carson will be heading off to the Under-17 Challenge out west at the beginning of November, wearing the team white jersey, along with his fellow counterpart, Matt Savoie. We'll be right back with both of those players, and talk to you soon. On the Ice here with Coach James Patrick. Coach, 3 wins in a row. Let's go back 1 weekend prior. Medicine Hat, a bit of a close game, coming back 3-2, just unable to get that 3rd goal to make it closer.
I actually liked a lot about the Medicine Hat game, and we outchanced them at the end of the night. Our start was, we gave up a shorthanded goal 5 minutes into the game, and then you're chasing the game. Another game, I didn't like our first 10 minutes. I just didn't think we were focused and dialed in right off the bat, and that probably cost us more than anything. The last 2 periods, there's a lot to like about it. We got the game we got it close, and we did pull our goalie, but they're a good team. They're one of the best teams in the Central. Their top two lines are as good as we've seen. I thought you can tell they've been well coached by Willie. They play with as much pace and quick counter team. They don't take their time. They get right back on the attack. So it was a challenge for us, but at the end of the night, our start cost us. Then went to Swift Current, and the next night our whole focus was on the start. I liked the way we played for about 10 minutes, and then we had about a 7-minute span where we went from a 1-1 game to 5-1 for them. And I had a few words after the first period, but more was said by the guys, and a lot of real good chatter on the bench that I think the belief was if we got one, we could come back in this game, and we did about 5 minutes into the second period. And I just thought everyone bought into doing the little things. We outshot them 22-4 in the second period, and I think we got it to 5-4, and I mean that was the difference in the game. That I thought we showed no quit, and we had a much better net front. A lot of the goals coming back were net front. The goalie didn't see it. Real good job of taking away the goalie's eyes, and then second and third efforts in front. And so we were able to get back in the game, tied it up in the third, and were able to win it in the shootout. So, I thought it was just real uplifting for the group to come back when you're down. I mean, if you've been around the game long enough, when you're those are the games you remember when you come back from a 5-1 deficit and win. And so I thought it gave us a good feeling coming back home. Obviously, we'd lost 3 or 4 in a row, and to break that, and then we had a week of practice and got prepared for Saskatoon.
So you said the game in Swift Current, you had a really great start. First 46 seconds, you potted one up, and like you said, the wheels kind of fell off. 7 minutes, that 7-minute period. Talk about what this does to the dressing room. Seeing the players doing the talk, obviously you leading with the choice words as you put it, but then watching the players discuss things and rally each other, the troops, so to speak, to come back for that victory in a shootout. What does that do for a team in the locker room, and the camaraderie and the excitement knowing that you come back from a 5-1 deficit for such a young squad on the road?
I think for me it was them starting to hold each other accountable, and them starting to push each other and expect a little more, and also being supportive at the same time. So it wasn't someone putting themselves above each other, someone else, but they called out the group as a whole, and how they had to be better, how they could be better, how they were better than this. So I thought the leadership, was for me a real great example shown by the leadership group. And then, again, I just thought it could go a long way, for us to having a good first half of the season if they, by rallying around, they had something to rally around, and then they accomplished it by coming back to win the game. I also, I should also mention that I thought Jesse went in and just gave us a real spark, and I liked so much of the way we played in the second, third period. Then we got to overtime. We gave up about 4 point-blank scoring chances that he just stood his ground and made some huge saves for us. So that was real important. But it's, I think we took a step. I think we're a more mature team now, but we definitely took a step by coming back in that game. I think on the ice it showed something, but off the ice in the dressing room, it was a step in the right direction.
Talk about Jesse Makaj. He comes into that game in Swift Current. He leads you into the back-to-back game here in Swift Current this weekend, previous at home. How good is it to have him knowing that he has that net presence back and his health is back?
Yeah, it's Jesse established himself as a good Western Hockey League goaltender last year as a 17-year-old. He's a big body. He's got lots of skill. He's got great work ethic. But I don't care what age you are, there's an adjustment to play at this level. And I think the pace and, the pace of the shooting, the pace of the game, the work ethic that's needed to. I mean, that's the biggest thing that the young goalies, they have no idea the work ethic, the never quit on a puck. That they haven't been pushed to do that before, and so it's not natural for them in practice, and then it doesn't carry over to a game. So all those things he learned last year, and he played well for us. There was growing pains at times. He had to experience getting pulled. He had to experience giving up bad goals and hurting the team and getting over his own his own emotions, and then coming back and focusing on being better as a goalie. So last year was a great year for him to grow, and I know he had a great summer of working out, and then in August he got sick with mono, and that set him back 2 months. But I believe he can be one of the best goalies in the league, and where his development is, once he was cleared by the doctors, once he had a week of practice with us, we were excited to have him back. I didn't want to overwork him right off the bat, but he played real well, I thought, in Medicine Hat, and then I didn't go with him in Swift, but felt we needed a goalie change to spark the team, and he went in and gave us that. So I think no question it's given the team a boost, because especially early in the games, he stood tall for us. He's helped our starts be better. Probably his getting in there has sparked our team to playing better.
So going back to back wasn't in the plan on the road. Clearly, he had only 15 shots in the first game against the Blades on the Saturday night. Were you able to, with that low shot total, did that make the decision easier for you on the Sunday night game to put him back in?
Yeah, it definitely did. My plan was to go with them both games. We had a whole week off. I know in November the schedule gets a lot tougher. Then you start getting 3 and 4. That's when you really have to judge how you work your goalies, and you got to give both of them some starts. But I just felt he got to play in both games on the Medicine Hat Swift Current trip. Came back, we had a day off. I think we had the Sunday and Monday off, so 2 days not being on the ice. One was a travel day. But then three real good days of practice, and I said at his age he should be able to play 2 games. So the plan was to do that. And then Saturday was a low scoring chance game. The chances were 11-10 for us, so neither team had that many chances. And I just I thought he had his workload allowed him to come back, and it was a lot different game. I thought Sunday was a lot more wide open, and again. They had point-blank chances. The score wasn't indicative. I know they had 34 shots, 35 shots, somewhere in there, but he faced some tough chances, but I thought his energy was good.
The energy from the backside was clearly there in the nets. Let's talk about the guilty by association offense that it's kind of lit in the lamp quite a bit over the last 3 games. Have you been surprised with how 3 of those lines, or all 3 forward lines, including your defense pairings, helping out with the offense in front of Jesse?
Well, I do feel we have way more depth than we did a year ago, and we have more balanced attack. Certainly on Sunday, getting Jackson Leopard in the lineup, that really gives certainly gives you. I felt on Sunday's game we had 4 lines that could play. I wasn't as worried about matching. But it definitely does, it spreads out the offense. I was able to put Brad Janelle with Owen Peterson and Matt Savoy, and that's a pretty good third line. And usually third lines in our league, third and fourth lines, there's a lot of 17, 16-year-olds on them. And so then it does make it, I think it's a tough matchup for other teams. Isaac Johnson scored in this league. Michael Tepley's a 3rd-round pick. He should be able to score. Connor McLennan is a good scorer. So when you got Tepley, McLennan, Smallwood. Tepley's new to the league, but he's a drafted player. He's going to play in the World Juniors this year. He's offensively gifted. The other 2 played in the league, and then you go to Nino's an 18-year-old who's given us some offense as a European import. Isaac Johnson's been around the league. And then last year, Mike Milne and Owen Peterson, as 16-year-olds, played over half the year in the league. It wasn't planned, but it worked out, I think, real important for their development. They're way ahead of most 17-year-olds in the league. Mike can skate and Owen is a big body who can hold on to pucks, who's provided some offense for us. That for me, I wasn't sure what I would get out of those guys, but it's been able to spread it around the lineup and give us more depth, which I think it can make it tough on other teams.
Heading into the weekend, we just have one game on the tilt in Saskatoon. Knowing that you've played this team twice already at home, how do you keep the team focused and maintain that pressure on the gas pedal, knowing you've beaten them twice already?
Well, I have to remind them how much harder it's going to be on the road, how much harder in their building, on their rink, which is it's a different rink, different size rink. It's going to be a different game. I mean, I think if you've been around the game, you know how hard they're going to come out after us getting the 2 wins there. We talked about this 3-game segment being a playoff series against Saskatoon, and well, now we had home ice advantage. Now we're going back to their rink. And everyone knows, even the playoffs, you know, teams are better at home. And this is a real big challenge for us. If we want to be a good team, these are the type of games we have to show up and compete and give ourselves the best chance to win. If we want to go to the next level. And so it's going to be important by me and the coaching staff to get that message through to the guys. First of all, prepare them to play the right way, against Saskatoon, and then the emotional part of the game, which, you do develop, whether a rivalry, intensity, and a bit of hatred against a team that you've played 3 times. Channel the emotions in the right way. Yeah, we want to compete. We want to go chin to chin. We want to battle. We want to win our share of 50-50 battles. But I don't want us taking, foolish penalties, retaliation penalties, and giving their power play a chance, and that's the strength of that team, is they're a good rush team and they live off the power play. And so we don't want to play into those strengths.
Not taking anything for granted, taking the team on the road for 1 game versus Saskatoon, the Blades. Thanks for joining us, Coach. We found out your very first phrase that you like to use the most, because a lot of the players repeat it, taking away the goalie's eyes. Both goaltenders and players will say that to me every interview, so thank you. We've got your first tidbit.
Okay, well, you know what? It's something we weren't doing enough of, so they've heard a lot of it from all of the coaches, but we've been better at it, so if it works, I'll keep repeating it.
Keep working on it, Coach James. Thanks for joining us here on the ice.
Hi, I'm Nettie Weiss from Metalmaster. You had an accident? Sometimes they're embarrassing, but they're always inconvenient. We have an incredible staff to take care of you. We have platinum certified techs in 4 different categories. We are certified as a gold class accredited shop. If you've made a claim already, perfect. Call us with your claim number. If you need a claim opened, give us a call. We'll walk you through it. Sometimes you can get a little nervous dealing with NPI. We'll help you. From Metalmaster Auto Body, we'll straighten it out.
On the ice here with number 7 still, Carson Lambos. Carson, crazy 10 days. I mean, you go to Medicine Hat, have a bit of a rough game, but then let's talk about Swift Current. Let's talk about how the adversity of this team and knowing that it's a 60-minute game, how were you able to come back and know that you still believed it, coming back and winning that final showdown?
Yeah, it was a big game for us. We thought our start was good, but then we kind of let off the gas for 5-6 minutes and gave them some scoring chances, and they just put them all in. So no, it was a big comeback for our team. Just shows how resilient we are.
Absolutely. I mean, the second period, you guys had 22 shots, really to start that comeback, and then finally, knowing that you were tied after overtime, did you know you had the upper hand, knowing you had the shooters you had?
Yeah, I think we're confident in the guys we got, and Jesse stood tall for us in that shootout. So, yeah, it's good to see we can. You never know how important those points are going to be, so be able to get those are huge.
Early in the season, when you have that kind of comeback, when it's 5-1, you come back and win that game, what does it do for a team's morale and the importance of having that feeling in the locker room, knowing you come back and you're able to face that adversary and come up on top?
Yeah, I mean, things aren't always going to go your way. Sometimes you get down in games, and sometimes the bounces don't go your way. So to be able to battle through that and know we could do that any game, it's big for our group.
So talk about the maturity coming back home and playing a team now on a back-to-back setting with Saskatoon. How did you take that first game into track, knowing that you had the win in the first, but then getting into that second and doing that much better?
Yeah, the second games can sometimes be tough. Expect a good pushback from our team. So we did the same thing we did the first night, and it was a big weekend for our group.
Playing with a lead is a lot better than coming from behind, correct?
For sure. Getting the lead early, like we did in both games, is huge. You don't want to be playing catch up because teams kind of go into a defensive mode, and it's harder to catch up.
How good was Jesse when you saw him in that battle? He didn't face a lot of shots in the first game. He faced double the shots in the second. Knowing he's backstopping you and he's back to almost his regular season form, how good does that feel knowing you got that stalwart between the pipes?
Yeah, Jesse's been great for us. He stood tall when he needed to. Even in the first game, he gave up some chances, but he makes those saves, and then it gives us some confidence in the D zone. And yeah, to see him playing as good as he is great.
Speaking with the D zone, you yourself, Carson, had a pretty offensive style of game in the first one, potting 2 goals. Let's go through a couple of those, and how were you able to see the net and pot those in?
Yeah, on the first one, Peterson does a great job winning the face-off and just kind of goes to the net, big body, takes the goalie's eyes. So, I'm just able to get it through, and really the rest is him taking the goalie's eyes. So that was a big one. And then on the second one, kind of got the puck at the blue line and was able to get around their first winger and kind of took it to the net and just saw a 5-hole, so shot it there.
Right where the moneymaker is, right between the pads. Make it a goalie look silly. The second game, the same, leading into the third period, knowing you had the lead. How do you seal up on the defensive side of things, Carson, with the rest of your defensive group, so that you're not looking to have that other team kind of sneak their way back into the game?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter the lead. You don't want to give any team a chance going into the third period. So I think it's really important we just kind of focus on defense first once we get a lead like we did. So I think we did that and kind of succeeded in what we wanted to do.
And this week we've been working on practice. Just one game this weekend, a couple more practices before going out. What do you look for in the opponent? Stronger, a little bit more mature of a team? Are you ready for them? And good things should happen, right?
Yeah, I think we're looking forward to playing these guys, and it should be another good matchup.
Now you yourself have another assignment, we'll call it, coming up in early November, heading out west. You and Matt Savoie have been selected for the Team White team for the U17s. How excited were you to get the news? And more importantly, or maybe more importantly, playing with your teammate on the same team.
Yeah, it's huge. It's honestly a big honor to have a chance to play for my country. Something I'm really happy and excited to do, and to be able to do that alongside Matt, who's obviously a really good player. It'll make me a little bit more comfortable once I get there, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, Matt was first selected number 1 overall this year. You yourself were selected number 2 overall, but the first round selection for Kootenay back then. Have you had a discussion with Matt and some of the feelings and the bit of the anxieties that perhaps come with all that pressure on your shoulders?
No, not really. I mean, just kind of go out and play, and if you make mistakes happen. The best players do it, so you can't beat yourself up about it, but at the same time, you gotta learn from those mistakes, but you can't beat yourself up about them.
Carson, leading the defense and scoring this year in this early part of the season. Your offense is definitely there, your defense is there. What part of your game, your game is very complementary to what's going on the ice. How do we find that next level for you?
Yeah, I think just learning every game. The other team's top lines, things happen fast. I just got to learn and try to be more aware in the D zone, and just keep learning the systems and improve on that. Carson,
congratulations on being selected to the under-17 White squad, as well as the 3-game winning streak so far. Hopefully it continues to number 4 this weekend upcoming, and I really appreciate you joining us here on the ice.
Perfect, thank you.
On the ice here with Jesse Makaj, the goaltender of the last 2.5 so games. Jesse, we got to go back and we got to talk about that game in Swift Current. Coming in, relieving your other goaltender. What do you do to prepare in those situations?
When I don't get to start, I kind of just take it more as a relaxed kind of preparation. That's my preparation in general. I just like to be more relaxed and just have fun and goof around with the guys. But when the coach told me to go in, I just went in there, did my job, and just tried to keep the score as close as possible, and which I did, and I felt like I did a good job of that. And our team did a good job coming back, and I knew we were going to come back because I know our team, we have a lot of offense in this team, which we did, and we got the win.
A lot of offense, especially being down that many in the first. I mean, as a player, do you have those expectations, or you're just hoping that, we can find a couple, pot a couple? We know it's a 60-minute game.
Yeah, I think, as a goalie, I just try to stop the puck, but for those guys, I know it's just getting one at a time and building off each goal. And once we got one in the second period, and I knew things were going to get rolling. And once we got that goal in the third period to tie it up, I knew we were going to get the W. So
So Coach James just kind of gave you the look, gave you the bullpen nod, and said you're in?
Basically, yeah. He's like, yeah, you're going in. I'm like, all right, sounds good. So, yeah, that's what happened.
So a quick stretch, only letting one in Swift Current, getting the win. How did that feel in the locker room, getting that shootout win, and knowing that you came back from such a large deficit so early in the season? And what does that do for a team and its positive feelings in the locker room?
It was obviously a lot of the guys were pumped up. That was something definitely to build off of. It was a huge win for me too. Coming back from mono and being out for a while, that felt really good, obviously. And yeah, it was just a great team win, and we built off that, and then just got better.
So a little bit of practice during the week. You took on the Saskatoon Blades Saturday and Sunday night this past weekend. How do you prepare knowing that you have like a 2 home games against one opponent?
I think you just keep it the same. Obviously, back-to-back games sometimes can be tough, but I thought our team did a good job. We all played together as a team. Definitely made my job a lot easier. Our offense showed definitely this weekend. So, yeah, it was a great team win all around, and getting ready for Friday.
I mean, like the first game Saturday, we potted 4. The second game had 7. You yourself, if we look at your goals against average in this early season, 2.11 goals against average, you're kind of stepped into that role as being that number 1 goaltender, Jesse. How have you been able to embrace that role early in the season and be the role model for the other fellow netminders?
Yeah, well, I think it all starts from last year. Last year I kind of took over towards middle half of the season. I played 40 games, which is basically a starter's role, and I was a rookie last year, so that I think helped me a lot for this year, and I just that was like a foundation, and now I'm building off of that, and yeah, I believe I'm the guy for this team and to help this team make a good playoff run and hopefully Memorial Cup. But I'm just trying to be a leader for all the guys, especially our young goalie prospects. But things feel good. I'm just ready to help the team get more wins.
And let's talk quickly about the mono aspect of things. How hard is it to come back from something like that, itching to get back on the ice, but knowing you have to take care of the body first and foremost?
Obviously, it was a bit frustrating. Like I said, like with my interview with our team 3 days before camp, I got mono, unfortunately. Doctor told me I'm probably out for maybe a month. Maybe, who knows, sometimes you can be out for almost half a year. So I was kind of obviously shaken up about that. But no, I spent a lot of time with my family just to take my mind off of it. I've been having a really good diet back home and continuing it here. It's more of a plant-based diet, almost more of a vegan aspect, which a lot of high-level athletes are going towards, and I think that helped a lot with my recovery. I think just healthy diet and just taking my mind off the mono, spending a lot of time with family and friends, and when I got back here, I just started to ease back into it and started to, just honestly, it was kind of even, sometimes I look at it as a good thing because I got to work on a lot of things and, nail down some details and really clear up some things, and then I stepped into the practice mode and then games, and then I feel really good.
So like a reset button kind of thing on everything.
Reset. Like honestly, like I felt rested up when I got back into game mode. I could use that as my advantage towards the end of the stretch or the end of the season.
Right on. So this past week we've been getting ready. We have one game this weekend. What's the preparation for that game heading on the road soon?
I think a lot of it, just keep things the same, keep things simple. We're having a really good week in practice. We have practice tomorrow and Thursday, get ready for Friday. It's going to be a tough game. Obviously, they're not going to want to get blown out like that again. But I believe in our team and our guys, and we can get the job done.
How is it now that you've played a lot of these teams? Now you're seeing them first, you're seeing them second. You've seen their play this year. Now is more of a mature team compared to last. What does that benefit you to seeing, how these other teams in the East Division especially are playing against you guys, considering they may think you as being a younger team, but now you've got that experience in that one extra year?
Last year, our team was, we were a good team, but we were obviously, a lot younger. We had a lot of guys who were 17, including myself. This year we're a lot more mature. I think we're surprising some teams, but I know, it's not luck. Like we're a good team this year, and we can definitely make a good run this year, and hopefully strive for the Memorial Cup. But just keep things going one at a time, one game at a time, and our team's going to do really good this year.
Coach James at the beginning of the year talked about allowing less goals against. We've definitely seen that in the last 3 games with you, Jesse. Talk about your diet. Have you seen the movie Game Changers yet?
That's actually why I brought it up. Yeah, I have Game Changers. It's a really good documentary on just health and nutrition and what it shows when you limit or take out meat from your diet and also dairy. I see a lot of guys like Kyrie Irving, Tom Brady, Serena Williams, the list goes on. They're all trending towards plant-based diet. I've been doing that, and my energy levels have risen like times 10. So, yeah, I think that's definitely helped my game. That's a huge part of being an athlete. That may not be a huge advantage, but just something little always helps, and that's what helps you get to the next level.
I must agree, the documentary is pretty impressive, especially when Arnie says he's been off it for over 20 years. So
yeah, it was my mom told me to watch, and it was definitely eye-opening for sure. So yeah, I'm just trying to see if my teammates will watch that too.
Maybe it'll be on the next bus trip.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Right on. So last question I'm going to ask you: being from East Van, your first year here in Winnipeg, you ready for the snow?
I mean, I'm born in January, so my first birthday when I was born, it was a blizzard back in Vancouver. So, I really like the snow, but I heard here it stays. In Vancouver, we get it for maybe about 2 weeks, and that's about it, and then it'll melt and go to rain. But I'm ready for the snow, but I'm not ready for the cold temperature and the wind chill.
Jesse Makaj, the snow accumulates,
Yeah.
just like the winds are accumulating. So far, 3 in a row for this Winnipeg Ice squad. Thanks for joining us here on the ice.
Yeah, thank you.
If you take the first mortgage you're offered, a high interest rate could take your travel budget and send it packing. Before you choose a mortgage, take a second look. Get serious about your mortgage. Contact Caisse Financial Group today. If you take the biggest mortgage you can get, you might find your budget can't support other important costs, like buying furniture. Don't let your mortgage weigh you down. Get serious about your mortgage. Contact Caisse Financial Group today.
On the ice here inside the training facility, brought to you by Pembina Source for Sports. My name is Theo Tutkalek. Thanks for joining us. In today's RHA program, we were able to catch up with the Elite 15 team and head coach Sandy Henry with over 30 years of coaching experience as we talked to him about the progressions and the recruitment processes here for not just the Elite 15s, but also the entire RHA program, starting with their Bantams leading into their older ages. We also had a chance to catch up with 2 assistant captains, Josh Filmon and Evan Friesen, and they're loving of country music as opposed to the rest of the team. And we'll hear what life is like for them as the Elite 15 assistant captains here on the ice. You ready? On the ice here with head coach Sandy Henry of the Elite 15s. Thanks for taking the time with us during this 4-hour practice session for the boys, right?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, our guys are in the gym right now, so I have a few extra minutes until we have to go to the ice here. So,
Sandy, tell me what it's like for a player to be introduced to the RHA program and the process they get before they step on the ice.
Yeah, so our recruiting area is virtually, anywhere in North America, and we've even had some international students. So, the first process, I guess, is identifying the type of players we want. Skill and being able to play is obviously part of it, but we also are looking for the character in guys. So, are they good kids? Are they good students? Are they willing to sacrifice a lot of things to join a program like this? And, and then probably the third part, I guess, is financial. It's got a different financial makeup for families than a regular minor hockey process does. So,
this is not just your apples and oranges hockey program. This is a hockey academy, 24/7, involved with the education, the academics, as well as the time on the ice and the preparation around the ice. With your experience, how have you seen the players develop, and how can you comment on their development compared to other programs?
Yeah, so I guess Part A for us and for our league, CSSHL, is the school portion. So we have a great partnership with Shaftesbury High School. Our students do a modified schedule there, so they're basically starting regular time, except in Bantam they'll start an hour earlier, and they're done at noon, and then we transport them to the training center for, a full afternoon of hockey. On top of that is our league schedule and travel situation, which, we're the furthest east point of our league, so we put a lot of miles in traveling, and it's a very good league. As far as development, the school criteria has been well received. We've never noticed kids' marks coming down. If anything, I think we've been able to see a rise for some guys for sure, and the majority hold where they are. Good students are going to be good students in this program. Weaker students we're going to try and support that with tutoring and all those things, but the student is going to be what he is, so to speak, I guess. So we set aside lots of time for the school part, and then obviously being done at 5 o'clock every day. The time management part in the evenings is something that I think families like, and it gives students full opportunity to get their schoolwork done. On the hockey side, some different opportunities. First, we have, RINK trainings based on the player development side, and that's how it started. And they have a great group of professionals, teachers, people that know how to get the skill portion of the game across. So we have access to those guys a couple times a week, where they'll do sessions, either strictly defense sessions, strictly forward sessions, and the goalies get the goalie development guys. So depending on our playing schedule, some weeks we'll have 1 or 2 sessions of that, and the other part is our full ice practice for the on ice. And all the coaches here are paid guys. They've done a lot of time. They've got good experience, and they're passionate about it, and we have a great, I think, communication between the groups as to no one's being static about thinking they know everything. We're bouncing ideas off each other. So, if we don't have games on a weekend, we're going to get 5 days of hockey development in during the week. If we do have games, it might be 4, and then we're going to travel. The league's a very high level, very high caliber for all the divisions, and so we get our regular tests, I guess you would call them, in on the weekends. So the third part of it, I guess, is the off-ice part of it. If you've seen the gym, it's developed and designed for young athletes. It's all air-driven equipment, very safe, a lot less stress on guys, but still has the ability to create the speed and power that they need to be, advantage their hockey part of their program. So we have lots of data. They're taking data. They're being tested constantly, whether they know it or not. So those guys do a great job of assessing what players need, and then being able to develop the programs for each guy to maximize himself. So, every day that we're here, that we show up from school, they're going to get an on-ice portion, they're going to get an off-ice portion, and they're going to get a boardroom portion, and that could be school. We have some outside influences, such as we have a goal setter, we have a chaplain part that helps with team building. So we expose them to a lot of the parts that in a minor hockey setting they can access those maybe, but you're going to have to go find them, and you're going to have to pay the price to have them, where that's all included in our program. So.
Absolutely, like the resources here are immense, and it's full-bodied, like you said. There's not a stone that's unturned. Let's talk about the Elite 15 team. You've had them under your wing for about 6-7 weeks now, Sandy. How have they looked from the beginning to now where we're at, and how much do they really enjoy the experiences away from home and those wonderful road trips?
And the road trips, yeah. Well, you know what? We have 11 returning players from our Bantam team. that are on Elite 15 specifically, and then 3 others that went right to the midget prep program. So, you know, that's a retention 14 out of 19 players, and from the previous season. So, you know, I think that speaks a lot about what the program does. Once players, you know, join us in a program setting, they love it, and they don't want to leave it. So having those 11 guys is huge. It provides a great base. You're not teaching those guys the time management and the work ethic and those things you need. Specifically our team, exceptional work ethic, very involved, very enthused, very dialed in, just ready for the day when they get here, I think. And a great group to travel with. You know, I've been a coach for 30 plus years, and I'll say honestly, there's some teams I wasn't excited to go to the rink with, you know, like you just get to that spot where it drags you down a little bit. But like, I love coming and working with this group. It's just with the enthusiasm and the work ethic, and when you got the work ethic, you can teach them other stuff because they're willing. So yeah, excited group. You know what, the road trips, when we do year-end exit meetings, you would think, you know, a 12-hour bus ride into Alberta would not be an enthusiastic thing for guys, but that's one of their favorite things when they at the end of the year, and it's just that camaraderie. It's amazing how they can be around each other all day, and you know, they still can talk for 14 hours straight on a bus. I don't understand that, but they love those trips for sure.
Well, the work ethic of this Elite 15 is keeping Coach Sandy Henry on the edge of his seat. I think we're going to go join some of the boys upstairs and check out that new gym right after this.
The 4 Points by Sheraton, Winnipeg South. Conveniently located on South Pembina Highway near the Trans-Canada Bypass and 1 hour from the U.S. border crossing. Offering a saltwater pool, hot tub, 24-hour fitness center, restaurant, and lounge.
Here on the ice with the Elite 15 assistant captain, associate captain, what do you go by, Mr. Josh Filmon? Assistant captain, okay. We are in the training facility here with the boys taking care of a little bit of off-ice conditioning. How many days a week do you guys spend here in the gym?
Typically it's all 5 school days in here. Sometimes we'll head over to Southdale Community Center and do some longer full ice practices over the week, but we usually do that about once a month.
So how many, you spend 4 or 5 days a week in here? What's your favorite day in the gym? Is it legs? Is it buys and tries? What kind of work do you get done? Or do you have a set schedule of exercises you do as a team each day?
Yeah, we have a set schedule, so it changes every 3 weeks. Typically it'll be like a leg day, an arm day, or an upper body day, and then just a full body day, like some core, some arms, and a bit of legs, and a bit of cardio usually.
Josh, how did you find out about the Hockey Academy? What brought you to the Academy in first place?
Well, our coach now, Sandy, I had a little interview with him after my Bantam 2 season with the Winnipeg Monarchs, and they kind of gave me a tour of the facility, kind of a basic information about the program, you know, a day in the life, that sort of stuff. And then I practiced with their team in the spring before I came here.
So that whole process was something that enticed you to say, you know what, this program is right for me.
Yeah, for sure. Just the way like it's set up, you know, the on-ice skills, like with the skills coaches here at the rink, the off-ice training with Maddie and Izzy here, the therapy for injuries and stuff, the full ice, like the structure and coaching and that sort of stuff. It's really the complete package.
How have you liked so far with the team, the bonding, the team building for you, the road trips in the beginning of the season? How has it been for the Elite 15 so far?
It's been a great start to the season. I'm really confident with this group of guys we have here. The bus trips have been good. Lots of team chemistry. Everybody gets along. It's looking really good for us.
I saw you smiling when I said team building and road trips. Is there like a program? Is there some sort of activity you guys like to do to create that chemistry?
Not necessarily. It's just funny to think, you know, each guy's got their own routine. Some guys don't like to sit down very often on the bus. Some guys do, you know, but it all works well. Everybody gets along. Everybody's got their own things that they like to do and, you know, their habits and stuff, but everybody gets used to that eventually.
So for the younger guys that may or may not be interested in getting into the RHA program, what is your routine prior to a game? Like, what do you do when you come to the rink? What's your set out plan before hitting the ice?
Typically get a new stick tape job in, and then we'll go upstairs into this gym as a team, and we'll do our movement preparation. Maybe play some soccer or something, and then eventually get dressed, and our trainer does the starting lineup and gets us all excited for game time.
Right on. So before we get to the rink, we got to talk nutrition. We got to talk hydration. What are your go-to meals during game day?
If it's a morning game, I like some scrambled eggs and hash browns and a yogurt typically, possibly a bowl of cereal depending on the options, but usually eggs and hash browns are a go-to. And an afternoon game's typically some sort of pasta or lasagna, something like that.
So we're sticking with heavy carbs. We're sticking with getting the energy up there.
Yeah, heavy carbs and lots of liquids. Milk, water, Gatorade, juice, just whatever it takes.
We got some music in the background here. What's in the iPod for you before game?
I'm a big country fan, actually. Most of the guys in here don't support that too much in the dressing room, but, typically it's some rap music of some sort, and then after, depending on the outcome, we play some Miley Cyrus in the dressing room.
So you like to party like the USA. I'm going to bring up the other Cyrus, Billy Ray Cyrus, and my son has me into that Old Town Road thing. Do you guys do any karaoke or anything like that?
We did last year on the bus. Haven't introduced it yet this year, but it'll come.
Okay, so karaoke to come in future episodes. Josh Filmon, thanks for joining me. Anybody want to say hi to you before we say goodbye?
Hey, Mom. I hope you see this. Thanks for everything you've done for me so far.
There we have Josh Filmon with the Elite 15s, the assistant captain here on the ice. Here back on the ice with Evan Friesen, wearing probably one of the best numbers you could wear on a jersey. Number 7 is my old number 2, Evan. So we got that going for us, which is pretty good. How's it going today?
It's good, thank you.
So we've got you talking about the Elite 15 program. Explain to us what a day in the life is for the players here for the Elite 15 team before, during the week.
Yeah, it's good. Go to school, start at 8:30, do that till 12, hop on a bus, come here and train and skate for the whole afternoon until 4:30.
So do you enjoy the afternoon part or the morning part more?
Afternoon for sure.
Okay, so I kind of figured that. So is this your first year at Shaftesbury and working with this RHA program?
No, I was actually with the Bantam Prep last year. So I went to Shaftesbury, attended there last year, and did this last year as well.
How did you feel the transition was, knowing that you were going from, a minor hockey program to an actual prep program last year with the Bantams, and then coming into this year being more of a veteran?
Yeah, it was good going from AAA to here. It's different with the training and everything, but I liked it. It was a good change for me. I feel like it helped me in my game as well, so I liked it.
So here we are in the training facility here, the Trust Gym. Is it called the Trust Gym, or what is it called?
Honestly,
it's the training facility. We'll call it that. I'll see a lot of T's around here, but nonetheless, what is your favorite part of being in the gym? Is it legs? Is it upper body? What's your go-to here in the gym?
probably upper body. I like doing that. I also like legs, but arms is my go-to probably.
Arms are the go-to, but he's got to make sure the lower body's strong and physical, because you probably play a physical game, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
So you like the ambulance to sort them out and take names later?
No, I don't want that for anyone.
Good boy. Good answer, Evan. Now let's talk more about the training aspects of things. You come here for the afternoon. Is it always the same set schedule for you when you come here off the bus, or does it change daily?
Sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's different. We're either on the ice first and then here, or gym and then ice and then study hall, or study halls first. It's different all the time.
So let's talk about that. Like, not only is the classroom time in the morning, but you also have enough time for studies and making sure the homework's getting done, the resources are there.
Yes, we usually have about an hour and 10, 15 to do a study hall and homework here at the rink.
Okay, so do we have any tests? Like, we're looking at all the different equipment here. We see some treadmills, we got some rowers. Do you guys have like team trials or team testings? Who's best at what program or who's best at what activity?
No, not really, but we do tests with the trainers to see how good we can be with legs and everything.
So it starts off with a beginning standard and then seeing how well you progress then?
Yeah, correct.
So how often do you set with so is it set up with the training program, the people here, and they go over those numbers with you and then how to progress from there?
Yes, they do. We do leg press, squats, everything, and they tell us how our numbers get better as the year goes on, see how we're improving.
That's a great resource to have, because a lot of places, a lot of hockey programs don't have that in place for you, so it takes the effort off the ice and translates it to in the ice. Now we're talking in the ice, or on the ice, sorry. How has the team looked for you in the first 6-7 weeks of play, and what's the best part about this team gelling now?
It's fine and good. We're a good team. I feel like we got good chemistry and everything. I feel like we're doing well.
What's the best part of your game, Evan, that you'd like to see improve this year?
Probably my skating, get a little quicker. My first 3 steps maybe get a little quicker. I find that's good.
Evan, before you come to the rink, what's for lunch to make sure you're ready to get going so you have a good practice and a good training session?
Probably just a sandwich and some fruit like oranges and apple, banana, something like that.
So keeping it somewhat carbs, a little bit light, full body for sure. Let's talk about music. We got a little bit of music in the background. What is your go-to when it comes to the iPod?
For me, I like country. Probably don't see that with me, but I like country.
So you and your assistant captain, Josh, said the same thing. So explain why the country and why is that not like everyone else's favorite music here?
I don't know. I should probably get it from my mom. She likes country, so I've been listening to it probably my whole life and it just stuck with me.
More old school, more new school country?
New school country, yeah.
So like Florida Georgia line kind of stuff?
Yeah, Florida Georgia line, Luke Combs, all that. Yeah.
Thomas Rhett?
Yeah.
All right, we're good to go now. Okay, so we talked the food, we talked the music. Tell me about when you go on road trips and you deal with the team here, I mean, being one of the veterans, being from the Bantam program, how is it that you're able to begin a team to gel and have chemistry built so quickly with this Elite 15 team?
Well, we do team building stuff all the time. We're always together in a small area doing things that just, you always talk with your teammates and get to know them, and I feel like that just does well with our team and gives us chemistry.
Most of the kids, are they in the same classes at Shaftesbury, or did you see them, you basically spend Monday through Friday with everybody together, right?
Yeah, we do. I have some of them in my classes, others not, but you see them all the time during school.
Evan, I want to thank you very much for your time with this. Do you want to say hi to anybody before we say goodbye and get you on the ice?
No, I'm good.
Evan Friesen, the other assistant captain with the Elite 15 squad. They're going to head on the ice for practice here on the ice.
Hi, I'm Mjhl from Metalmaster. You had an accident? Sometimes they're embarrassing, but they're always inconvenient. We have an incredible staff to take care of you. We have platinum certified techs in 4 different categories. We are certified as a gold class accredited shop. If you've made a claim already, perfect. Call us with your claim number. If you need a claim opened, give us a call. We'll walk you through it. Sometimes you can get a little nervous dealing with NPI. We'll help you. From Metalmaster Auto Body, straighten it out.
Here we are at the Winnipeg Blues portion of On the Ice, brought to you by Pembina Source for Sports. Had a chance to catch up with 2 of the 3 stars in goaltender Cooper Hatfield, as well as Mjhl, the first and third star from this past weekend in Verdun, and we'll talk about both of them as they move to Dauphin for a Friday night tilt in Dauphin against the Kings.
At Super 8 Winnipeg West, we have your comfort in mind with free Wi-Fi and free daily Superstart breakfast. We also have guest laundry facilities, a state-of-the-art fitness center, and a jetted hot tub. Sleep well in a spacious guest room equipped with plush new bedding, a 50-inch flat-screen HD TV, microwave, mini refrigerator, and Keurig coffee maker. Or book a suite with a kitchen, ideal for extended stays. Super 8 Winnipeg West, located just inside the perimeter on Portage Avenue.
On the ice with Mjhl Joss, goes by Mitch. A whole lot easier to say on the ice. Mitch, do you have a nickname that the boys call you?
Usually just Mitch, but Josser works too.
Josser, I like Josser. Okay, we'll stick with that. As for your game in Verdun, a 5-2 victory, 1 goal, 2 assists, third star. How did that third period end up for you guys, knowing you had the victory in hand and maintaining that lead for you so they get the dub?
For sure, it was just the boys got ahead early and we kept that pace throughout the whole game, and I'm sure they had a couple good chances and a couple goals, but we stuck to our systems and worked out nicely.
How are those systems working? I know you've got a very young, very fast team. How are those systems working for you? I know you've had such a strong game sense and so many games played early in the season.
Yeah, the systems are great. It took a while to get used to them and all, but I think right now we're all buying into it and it's going good.
Right on. So we got a couple points in the weekend. Do you like playing on the road? Do you like playing more at home?
Obviously the home is where it's at, but honestly something about that taking 2 points away from the opposition in their home gets me going a bit more.
Kind of feels good, don't it?
Yeah.
There you go. So a quick trip to Verdun. You're off to Dauphin this weekend. Before we get to there, Coach Burnett has to be working on a couple of things for the team this upcoming. What's been working on the practice side of things over the last 3 or 4 days?
I think we're just working on keeping our pace. Power plays could be a bit better right now, so we're working on that. Forechecks, breakouts, all of it. It's going good.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a scenario here, Josser. Okay, 2-on-1. Are you a shooter or are you a passer?
Usually a pass first type of guy.
Pass first type of guy. Okay, so he likes to handle the rock and pass it out. In Dauphin, you need a lot more shots, stronger team, more physical team. What do you look for in that Dauphin game that you're going to prepare most for?
Obviously, that's my old squad, so I'm just going to go in the rink and just buzz around there, skate, get a couple shots, and hopefully produce something.
So knowing it's your old squad, have you got a little bit of vendetta, a little bit extra rust in there for the boys? Or?
Yeah. Of course, lots of buddies on that team, so it'll be a fun game for sure.
A fun game, just share a little bit of recognition as well from the home fans. Maybe they'll give you a little shout out.
Yeah, of course, the Billets.
The Billets there, right? Was it a fun place to play in Dauphin?
Very fun, yes.
Do you enjoy what's here at the RINK training facility in terms of resources and the program the Blues have put together?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Everything is top of the level, pro, and I love it.
So we got Dauphin coming up this weekend. Bit of a reunion for you with some of the boys. You want to say hi to the Billets?
What's good, Scotty? Cash?
Mjhl, Joss with us here from the Winnipeg Blues, heading into Dauphin for a tilt against the old squad, and look forward to that meeting Friday night. On the ice here with number 35, Cooper Hatfield. Victory against the Verdun Oil Caps, 5-2. What was the best part about the game, knowing that you guys were up most of the game and having the lead?
No, it was good. Just kind of, it's always nice playing with the lead for sure, and the boys never stopped skating or playing, so it was a good win.
We were able to see a lot of the pucks making all but 2 saves. What part of the game made you feel like you were comfortable throughout the entire thing, knowing you got the W?
Well, just as you said, like, defensemen are doing a good job clearing the lanes and everything. Saw lots of pucks early, and yeah, they played a great game all around me, so it was a pretty easy night. Yeah.
Right on. So got a lot of goals from 3 or 4 different scores. Have you seen in front of you the balanced attack, and how important is that for a young squad here with the Blues?
Oh yeah, for sure. We were rolling lines most of the season to start here, and we can continue doing that by the looks of it. Yeah.
What was Coach Burnett's message going into the game with Verdun, and knowing that you had such a heavy part of the beginning of the season?
He just said keep using our speed and our passing, because a lot of the teams are built a little bit bigger than us, but we're a lot faster than some of the teams, and if we can continue to do that, it'll be good. Yeah.
That infamous you can't hit what you can't catch motive, right? So the team is young, the team is fast. What do you guys plan on doing now that the season is not as heavy game-wise, a little more time for practice?
Just, keep building our systems and continuing to work on those. Power play, penalty kill, special teams and that.
And Cooper, you were first star in Verdun by the boys. How exciting is that, knowing that you're getting the camaraderie from the rest of the team, and the weight on your shoulders isn't as great anymore, knowing you've got the help in front of you?
No, it's always great, yeah. Many guys probably on our team could have deserved that one last night or the other night, but it was good to get for sure.
A good team win in Verdun. What do you look forward to this weekend upcoming?
Should be another good game. Team's close with us in the standings, so hopefully we can get another win.
Just one quick trip to Dauphin. Dauphin's built, like you said, a little bit tougher, a little bit stronger. What part of Coach Burnett's game scheme do you think is going to travel for most of this season for you?
Yeah, just keep using the speed, yeah, for sure.
Cooper Hatfield, number 35 on the jersey. Great win in Verdun, 5-2 with On the Ice.